Deploying any project in the production shouldn't be that much scary, which is right now. Hey there everyone, my name is Hitesh and welcome to this fresh new playlist. I call it as Deploy. This is really the series that I've been waiting for, and I'm pretty sure many of you have been waiting for as well. The whole goal of this series is to make sure that people are not afraid of putting things into production. I know a lot of time people are scared of these classic cloud provider stories that, hey, this was charged with blatant amount and all of this. I want to make sure that you taste the flavor of putting things into the production into a fairly secure environment, as well as no issues and worries about the bill. My goal with this series is by the end of this series, you should be able to say that, hey, it's not that difficult and probably I can also do it. The whole idea with this deploy series is whether you are building application with Node.js, with Python, or with Java, or with any other tech stack, you should be fairly comfortable in putting things into production, and with the probable cost that you don't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars. Putting things into production is really fun, and this video is going to walk you through entirely on that. And by means of this video, this entire playlist. We'll be having a couple of parts in this playlist, and we'll be deploying multiple of the applications onto the production. And this is going to require to spin up a servers, couple of SSLs and web servers and Nginx and whatnot. A lot of things is going to be covered in this one, and I'm pretty sure you're going to absolutely love this one. In this series, there's going to be some cost involvement. I'll walk you through with that. If you just want to watch it, that's also great. If you want to work along with me, I'll notify you where the things are going to cost you a small bit of money, but it's going to be all under control. We'll be majorly using VPSs so that we are in charge and full control of how much we are paying for that. And apart from this, deploying these SSL, HTTPS, deploying your databases, this is all manageable. It's not that bad that it seems like it looks from the outside. So I'm pretty sure that you're excited with this series, Deploy, and I'll walk you through what are the stuff required and how you can get started with that. But if in case you are new here, go ahead, subscribe to my channel. In case you're watching it at some other place, then go ahead and search me up, Hitesh Chaudhary, and just go ahead and subscribe this channel. We are probably going to be hitting 1 million subscribers soon, and I'm pretty sure this series is going to add enough value in your day-to-day life to have the production grade values. So let's go ahead and get started. I hope you have hit that subscribe, and let me know in the comment section that do you need more such series which actually teaches you the production grade stuff, or you want something else. Let me know in the comments. 1 comment is required. We are expecting 100 comments on this channel, at least on this video. So let me first share the screen with you and walk you through with what we are planning to do and how we are going to execute this. The step 1 is to find out a VPS, which VPS is a simple way of saying that, hey, we want a computer which can be provided by somebody. We don't want to utilize our own computing resource because I cannot keep my machine up all the time. For this special thing, there are data centers available, and these data centers provides you these virtual machines which you can just deploy, configure it properly, and keep it running probably forever. And for this, we'll be using that. And yes, by the way, there are also cloud providers like AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure as well. But these clouds actually charge you based on the traffic, how much traffics are there. And there is so much of more configurations and knowledge required for doing that. We are not going that path. We are going with the VPS part, where we are full in charge of how much we are paying monthly, and exactly that amount of money will be paid. And since this series is not sponsored by any of these providers which I'm going to discuss, I'll talk a lot about them. So if I just search for VPS provider, you can see there's a Vulture, there is a DigitalOcean, there is Hostinger, there is GoDaddy, I guess, there is Amazon, and probably there are a few others as well. There's Linode, there's even IBM, so you can use any one of them. Now, I cannot show you the whole process on each and every VPS, but they are pretty much all the same. So in this case, I'll be using this Linode, which is now powered by Akamai. I found it pretty useful. We have tried and tested it out. It works nicely. So I'll be using this one for the entire series, but I'll walk you through with others as well. For almost all of them, you're going to see many of these services being provided, like volumes, load balancer, VPCs, and all of this. We just need a basic virtual machine. Just spin it off, and we want to have a computer. In that computer, we will install few softwares, deploy our applications, and we want to make it always up and running. That's the whole idea. That's the whole goal. So as you can see, I have this public address, and this is the machine that is running up. There is no big deal of exposing your public addresses, but I really don't like. So by the time you'll be watching this video, this will be entirely gone. But this is something where it is going to be masked by a domain name. So you don't reach out to these machines with these names. You reach out to your machines via your name. So if I go ahead and just work with the Excalidraw, so let's go up here. So this is how it looks like. So first of all, you go ahead and simply work with something like website.com. If I can just expand this, that would be good. Oh, I can write it better. I can just go ahead and say website.com. So whatever is your website.com, we know the websites via this way, but computers don't know this stuff. So they always provide you something like the IPs like this. So what we do is we have something in between known as DNS. So first of all, this is your IP address. And let's just go ahead and say this is my IP address. So I'll just call this one as IP. So the first step always is to go ahead and look for something known as DNS, a domain name system. So whenever you write anything in your browser, it goes ahead and make a query to this DNS system, a domain name system that, hey, I don't know what this name is. Can you give me back what's going to be the IP address? And in result, it responds with the IP address that, hey, you go ahead and look out for this particular IP address. And then finally, through the network hopping, through your routers and whatnot, all these routing, finally, you go ahead and reach out and decode this IP address and you make a connection on that, or you make a web request on that. It might be a GET request, you might be sending some data and whatever you want to do. So this is how it's being done, the basics of the DNS system. Now we will go ahead and spin up these systems freshly from the start. This one, I'll just keep on running. I was doing some tests before recording this video. This spinning up does cost money, not insane amount of money, but sometimes $4, $5 a month. So you can test out a lot within a month and can learn a lot. This is the pricing I cannot control. It requires that kind of a stuff, but a lot you can do on your own system as well. Similarly, we have DigitalOcean as well. I just happen to choose Linode. It's no big deal. DigitalOcean, Linode, they are equally good. I use a lot of them. In fact, both of them actually. So you can just go ahead and click on the droplet here and just click on create droplet and you'll see the $4 per month. I can just click on this droplet and it's going to show me the pricing and options where you want to spin up because it's a virtual machine being spinned up. So for me, the nearest one is Bangalore. For you, it might be New York, San Francisco, wherever that is. And you can just go ahead and choose what operating system you want to install on that machine. The steps are exactly same. We'll be doing that one very soon on the Linode as well. But I just wanted to show you that how it works. Ubuntu, Fedora, will be majorly choosing Ubuntu, but feel free to choose Fedora in case you are comfortable there. And then shared machines or dedicated machines based on how much you want to pay. You can pay $32 per month. But you get good resources. You get around 4 GB, 2 Intel CPUs, 120 GB, 4 TB of transfer. Pretty good deal actually. But if you want to go with the regular, you can go ahead and choose the absolute bare minimum $4. But for that, you have to go, I guess you cannot choose $4. Can you choose? Anyways, you can go with the this is not available in the data center. I have to change the data center here. Probably it's available in, I'm pretty sure it's available in SF. So you can go ahead and choose that and yep, it's available there. But it's going to cause me latency issues because the server is far away. Whatever I'm deploying, it's not going to be usable for me. So this is one reason based on what you choose. If you want to choose more higher machines which have more power, you can use general purpose and can pay $63 to all the way up to $1260. But again, depends on what you want to do and how you want to serve. I think for most people, if you're choosing DigitalOcean, $6 machine should be fine enough in learning the things. And even $4 latency, but it should be fine enough to have this one. And then we'll talk about these SSH keys and all these things in a while. We have a detailed documentation for it. I'll walk you through. They call it as Droplet, DigitalOcean, just like that. But will not go with that. We'll just close this one. Now, in case you're wondering, if you are a pro in AWS, AWS also offers services like this known as Light Sale, and they are not based on how much compute resources you're using. They are fixed price machines. So bundles with public IP address, and you can see $5 a month, fixed pricing. So 5.5 GB, 512 MB of RAMs. Really not that great, but yeah, it does the job. 2 virtual CPUs, 20 GB, 1 TB of transfer. I think pretty good resource. $7, you get decent. And what I would recommend, if you just get a $24 per month, you can do so much on it. Even you can put databases, a whole lot of transfers. I think that's a crazy deal. And similar deal you can find in this one as well. Now, once you have these machines, what I discussed about this, all you gotta do is put up a record of IP address. So there is something known as DNS records. And in this, you just have to say the A records. There are different types of records that you put in your website DNS so that it maps to your IP address. And we will learn about them as well. So I have a domain, True Feedback, which is just here for fun. We will be actually changing its DNS to, it's just really simple. I can just click on the DNS and just make it up and running. So by the time you'll be watching it, let's just go ahead and add a new record. I want to add an A record. You might want to add it on the main domain, but since it's for me a subdomain going to be there, so I'll just go ahead and call this one as the series name, deploy, and then just add the IP address. So go ahead and copy your IP address and come back here and paste it up here. TTL, time to live, how much time it should take to update this. I think half hour is good enough, but you can go ahead and do a custom one as well. Let's just say 4. No, it's not going to be 4. It needs to be 6. So I'll just go ahead and just say 800 and save this. That is it. It's going to take a little bit amount of time to propagate your DNS, but within just few minutes, it hardly takes minutes sometime. And that's it. You just save it. And that's it. You have deployed a machine and whose IP address is now on that. So told you, it's not really that difficult to work on with. Now, apart from this, in order to work with these virtual machines, I'll be using terminal. So the terminal of my choice is going to be Warp. I really like and I enjoy this. So Warp is available for Mac and Linux as of now, but its Windows version is about to drop any time now. So you can just go ahead and use it. I really like it because it's built on Rust, really good, nice, but feel free to use anything. I'll be using this one. Now, the advantage that I get with this one is I can just try to type in natural languages. It helps me to do what I want to do. It's kind of a true DevOps friendly kind of a thing. So I can just ask it that I want to secure my VPS. Help me with all steps. Now, right now, these steps are not going to make sense to you. There's a lot of steps that they are asking to do. It doesn't make sense right now, but as we go through in the series, all of these steps are going to make sense. And all you want somebody that, hey, just give me a brief idea and overview what I need to do. And I know these steps are absolutely same for every single time you're spinning up the VPS. So we'll go through with all of these details, what they are and how they're going through. Not only that, I have actually gone ahead and created a documentation for it so that you don't have to watch the videos again and again. I highly recommend to watch it, but just to make sure that you make it's easier for you, there's a DevOps stuff. And we'll be walking through with the server setup and hardening. This is our step 1. We'll be going through in the next video about that. All the details, all the steps are here, but there's some more, you can say, instructions are required on top of this that I'll be covering up. But I hope you get the idea that what we are about to get started on this one. So since we are already up here, let's go into the Linode. This machine is already up. Probably I'll remove it or delete it. But once you have created an account, it's a free account that you can go ahead and create it. Now let's go ahead and create a Linode. This is going to cost me some money, probably $4 or $5 a month. That's okay. It's a price that we have to pay to teach also. So make sure you hit that comment section as well. Now this is where you need to understand all the settings and what all you can do, not just in Linode, but in any VPS provider. These steps are just called differently, like they call it as nodes, Linodes, and nanodes. DigitalOcean call them as droplets, but hey, the options are exactly same. So first step is always to choose your operating system. I'm going to go ahead and choose Ubuntu because that's what I like compared to this. But again, no big deal. Feel free to choose any one of them. Now here you can see the option of LTS. LTS stands for long-term support. This is the one you should be choosing because that's where the active support is being provided. But feel free to choose whatever you like, Slackware, if you like Kali, if you like Fedora, whichever you want. According to what you are selecting, the commands are going to change. Just like you want to use Linux in your day-to-day life, that's exactly where it's going to change. I'm going to go ahead and click on Ubuntu 24 LTS. Feel free to choose any one of them. No big deal. Now, after that, select the region that you want to go. I will be selecting something near me, and I think Mumbai is very near to me. I'll go ahead and select that one. After that, you have to select what kind of CPUs you want to use. Now, bandwidth is getting much less costly, but the compute is getting crazy high and crazy expensive. We'll not choose the dedicated one because it's $36 per month, although we can, but not for tutorial. I'll use the shared CPU, and I think I'll go again with the Nanode 1 GB of machine. Probably later on when we are spinning up more, I'll need a little bit of more compute power to spin up the database. Then I can choose this one, which has 2 GB of RAM, good enough. But as of now, I'll just choose the bare minimum basics. And you can go like GPUs as well, which are really, really costly, $1,000. And that's why there are high prices on ChatGPT and training models. But as of now, shared CPU, Linode, 1 GB, $5 machine. Give me the basics. Now, after that, it says what should be the label of it. We're going to call this one as deploy dash series. This is my label for it. I can add the tag of learning to it. Feel free to use the tag or don't use tag, doesn't really matter. Now we have to use a password on this one. Now we'll walk through that how using the password or not using the password can actually do a lot of stuff. But as of now, we need some password. So I'm going to go ahead and say the password. We're going to use a password. Probably that's too weak. So I'll use a password. This one is good enough. Just make sure you use that. As of now, we are not adding any SSH key, but you can go ahead and add it right up here. We'll walk through with this later on. But yes, I'll walk you through how once the system is installed, how you can actually use your own existing SSH key and can work with that. Now, in case you have no idea about generating SSH key, you might have generated one when you were creating your account on GitHub. I do have a GitHub series as well, by the way, check that out. But in case you want a fresh start on that, we have a great documentation which provides you and work with that. I'll walk you through with the steps of that as well. But here are the official documentation guide. You can just look for it. And this is where they walk you through that how to create an SSH key, both on Windows and Mac. When the time will come, I'll walk you through what the details are. Right now, it's not required, so I'll just skip that part. And then the VPC. This is like an isolated environment, like your own network. We'll not talk about it, but sometimes it is required and it makes sense. In this case, no, it doesn't make sense for us. Firewall. This is really important. You can go ahead and configure your firewall. I have one web server being called up, but right now we'll not just inject any firewall. I'll walk you through with both the steps that how you can configure your firewall. Most of the providers provide you these firewalls directly from this admin panel, which is easier, click and done. But in some other cases, they actually provide you some utilities and softwares which you can install on the system and can configure your own firewall. I'll walk you through with both the steps as well. Then after that, we are not interested in VLANs or add user data. User data are scripts that you can run so that you don't have to configure these machines again and again. If you know you are deploying the very usual stuff which you have been deploying, you can add that, but not useful for us. But it's good to know about what they are doing. I'm not interested in backup or the private IP as of now. Probably that makes sense for you, but hey, we are again spinning up Linode of 1 GB. So let's go ahead and create this one. This will be spinned up and we will be getting one public IP address and we will be able to get an SSH into this one. So the SSH commands and everything are given to me here, but this is right now says provisioning. It will be up and running very soon. I'll go into the Linodes and will show you that, hey, YT test, once the provisioning is all done, this is how it's going to look like. We can see we have the CPU matrices and all these things, what the traffic is going in, going out, all these details are here. Now, after that, you can see we have network, storage, configurations, whole lot of things. We're going to talk all about them. They are almost exactly same on all of the platforms, but yeah, knowing the basics about them is always a good idea. So I guess we will allow it to keep on spinning. It's booting up now 37%, good enough. It's pretty fast, you can see 49. And that's why we love to use Linode as well. But again, not sponsored, feel free to use whatever you like. So this is all what we have. And one recommendation that I would say that is go ahead and get yourself a VARP, because I'll tell you the reason. Not only this, because there are some utilities in this which actually helps us to learn a lot better. Right now, we are going to rename this tab. So I'm going to call this one as server. This is where I'll be working on the server. We'll be connecting with the server. I think having this kind of a thing is good. And this one will be calling it as local. I actually utilize this a lot like this, because sometimes even myself, I get confused that am I on the local machine or am I on the server? So it's important that you go ahead and do something like this in whatever the terminal you're using. I'll be using VARP. So this is my server where I'll be connecting through the server and will be interacting and doing all the stuff there. This is my local machine where anything that I need from my local copy of the machine, I'll be getting it from there. So this is it. This is our setup. And I hope you're pretty excited about this deploy series, because I am very much. In the upcoming videos, we'll be talking about Nginx and deploying the node servers and a whole lot of details that are supposed to be there. That's it for this video. Hope you're excited. Let's go ahead and catch up in next video.